Alright.
How's it going?
I'm Sarah and he's James and we're the Whole World or Nothing.
We are in Nazca, which is home to the world famous Nazca lines, and depending on who you believe, they were either put here by the Nazca civilization or by aliens. Let's go find out. Now normally when we arrive in a new place, we've made some sort of a plan around what we want to do. I say we, it's usually Sarah.
Too lazy.
Yeah, a bit slacking. If you know us, then you'll know that Sarah's the planner. I'm more of a... what do I do?
Fly by the pants.
I just turn up. Anyway, unfortunately this time we've had absolutely no time to make a plan, so we just arrived with nothing to do. However, the guy in our hostel, who owns our hostel, Mr. Juan, wonderful guy.
He's great, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He picked us up from the bus station and he gave us this map, which as you can see is extremely detailed. It has got a whole plan for the afternoon on. Now you probably can't decipher that, but to us, yeah, I can't decipher it either, can you?
I know he's got a lot of detail on it, but I'm not really sure which bit's which anymore.
He spent about 10 minutes drawing it out for us, and every line that he did I was getting more and more concerned that I didn't have a clue what he was on about. Anyway, we've jumped on a bus, we're going somewhere, hopefully it's going to be fun.
As instructed by Mr. Juan's map, we hopped off the bus and headed up this huge viewing tower right at the side of a busy highway. It was seriously windy up there, so we've had to cut the sound off, and I'll just tell you what James was saying instead. Which was basically that he didn't think you could see the Nazca lines properly, apart from up in space or in a plane or something like that. So he was really surprised that you could see them so clearly from here. That, and that he didn't understand how they'd lasted for 5,000 years, and that they were amazing.
In total, there are over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric figures, and 70 animal figures and plant designs. The ones we saw from this viewing tower were the lizard, the hands, and the tree. And this is what they look like from ground level.
So this might just look like we're walking down the side of a massive road. That's because we are. However, this is where the map told us to be, so hopefully we're alright.
After walking down the busy road, which became pretty unnerving as we passed quite a few roadside memorials, we came to where we were headed.
We're at the house and museum of a woman called Maria Reich. She was a German mathematician who basically devoted her life to studying the Nazca lines. Anything that there was to know, she knew about it. So she measured them, she mapped them all out, and she had different theories about why they were created in the first place. One of them being that they were done to map the constellation of the stars so that they reflected the same patterns on the Earth. But no one actually knows for definite why they were created, because some of them have been here since 2000 BC, I think, so yeah, they're really old.
After her death in 1998, her house was made into a museum and contains lots of her original work on the Nazca lines. It was pretty fascinating to see.
So obviously we've just seen some from the tower, the lizard, the monkey and the pair of hands. But tomorrow I'm going to be going up in a little tiny plane to see 12 of them from above in the sky. Jay's not coming because he really doesn't like planes, so I'm doing this adventure solo. On the way back into town, we had one more stop off, an actual viewpoint where you can see a different view of the Nazca lines.
I find myself apologizing when you started it. Why? Under a spell. I really wonder how did it come to this?
You can just see them shooting off in all kinds of different directions for miles.
The landscape is just incredible, and it's an awesome place to catch the sunset. By the way, the viewing tower, the museum, and the natural viewing spot are all along the same highway, so you just have to kind of make your way up and down it however you can, by bus, walking, or taxi. This is us hitching a ride back into town.
So what did you say to me you would do the other day if I die in this plane?
I said I'd carry on the fight, but I'd probably change the website name to the whole world and, well, you'd be nothing basically.
Yeah, I feel really nervous because I don't normally do these things on my own, and you know, I've got my money, got my passport, but I'm really worried that I've forgotten something. I'm more nervous about that than going on the actual bloody flight. Just in the airport now, waiting to board our flight, and I'm feeling a little bit less nervous now. Fine, now I've got here. I've taken my travel sickness pill because I get travel sick all the time, going on like a 5-minute car ride anyway. Apparently the thing to do is not eat breakfast because it reduces your chances of being sick, so haven't done that. I'm starving. Let's see how it goes. This airport isn't a commercial airport, it's just one that the little planes fly out of for the tourists to go over the Nazca line, so it's pretty tiny. This is the flight path we were taking, and it was a good day visibility wise, so we got to see all of these and an extra one. There were only 6 people on our flight, 4 tourists and the 2 pilots. Jay would have absolutely hated it. And not just because of how small the planes are, but also because they turned from side to side to make sure the passengers on each side could get a view of each figure. It's pretty faint, but towards the bottom there you should be able to make out the monkey. This is the dog. He's upside down and turns onto his side. There's the condor, and this is a much higher up view of the tree and the hands and the lizard that we saw from the viewing tower. Short flight, only 30 minutes, but even with taking my travel sickness pills I was feeling pretty ropey by the end. I'm very glad that I hadn't had breakfast. So when I got back we headed straight out for a big bowl of delicious ceviche, washed down with an ice cold jug of chicha morada.
We're off on another afternoon of adventuring in Nazca and I'm excited. You excited?
I'm really excited.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shall I tell you why I'm excited?
Why?
Because we have got another Mr. Juan special. Hola! We've got another of Mr. Juan's maps. This one's a little bit easy to read though, I think.
Yeah, but it's still a really good one, isn't it?
It's a good one. So let's see where we end up today.
Yeah. Can you read his writing?
No.
Oh my gosh, so seeing the Nazca lines from that tiny little aeroplane was bloody brilliant. You definitely have to do it if you come to Nazca, and if you come to Peru, you definitely have to come to Nazca. It was a little bit expensive, I suppose, compared to other things. It was $70. Woo! Woo! But yeah, you should definitely do it. Right now we're at some Inca ruins called Los Paredones that date back to 1,000 years ago. They're currently in the process of excavating them, and they've got a doctor over from Italy, I think the guide said, that's working on them at the moment. Basically this site was a trading point and like a lookout between Cuzco and the coast. Obviously Machu Picchu is the big one that everyone knows about in terms of Inca ruins in Peru, but there are just thousands and thousands of sites, like a lot of them that haven't been properly discovered yet or rediscovered yet, that haven't been excavated. Same in Bolivia, there's tons in Bolivia as well, and I don't think even people associate Bolivia with Inca ruins, but yeah, they're just everywhere in this part of the world. So the news is we might be a little bit lost again. We're not exactly, no? You know where we are on Mr. Juan's map?
Exactly where we are.
I'm glad because I don't. So tell the truth now. I know you don't like admitting that we're not So why did we have to ask those local kids for directions?
I just like having a chat,
Okay.
testing out my Spanish.
Right, okay. This definitely looks like the right way. I'm not going to be able to get up there, I've got a skirt on. I'm really not having it, this is the actual path.
This is the way. I'll show you the map. Graceful.
I'm trying not to rip my skirt.
So anyway, we've arrived at the next place on Mr. Juan's map, and just getting here was interesting.
Yeah, that's part of the fun, I think.
Yeah. So let's see what it is.
Yeah, we don't actually know. I mean, he wrote all the names down, but we don't know what the names are because, like, there's not so many tourists that go to these parts. People just tend to come here to fly over the Nazca lines or stop by the towers that we went to. But in terms of visiting the other ruins that are spread around the place, I don't really think anyone does, do they? I don't know.
No.
We've not seen anyone anyway. Everyone's been shouting gringo at us as we're walking through the villages. Well, I say everyone, the little kids. So I don't think they see many of us wandering through here. I think we're lost. Well, we are. These lines are all over Nazca, and it's just incredible to think that they've been here for thousands of years. Like, I know the landscape's really dry and there's hardly any rain and stuff, but how on earth have they survived this long? We're not going to climb up because we've got to go to another place on Mr. Juan's map and it's getting a bit late. However, we reckon if you climb up that hill there, you're going to get an even better view. So what are you thinking about these Nazca lines anyway? Because obviously before we came, well, A, we nearly didn't come because you weren't going to go in a plane and I wasn't sure whether I was bothered. And we also read that if you're not going to go in a plane, there's no point in coming.
Well, I've not been in a plane, so I don't know how much better that experience is. However, you can absolutely see the Nazca lines from the ground, from the viewing towers, from the mountains that we've been up, and they're incredible. So I think it's absolute nonsense to say that you shouldn't come if you can't go up in a plane, or if you don't want to go up in a plane, can't afford it, whatever, because you can see them.
Is that why you didn't go? Because you can't afford it?
Yes.
Also, if you do come to Nazca and go on one of Mr. Juan's adventures, just be aware that your feet are going to come back looking like this. So even though possibly, oh no, he does a little bit, but doesn't look too excited. You are excited this evening, aren't you? Why?
Well, no, I'm not anymore because there's no stars. I was excited because we're going to the planetarium, but actually the sky's covered in clouds, so...
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
It might clear up.
It might. If not, there's always Pisco.
So the planetarium is inside a big posh hotel. We kind of feel like we've sneaked in. This isn't the type of place that we would ordinarily stay, but there's a bar and the people are like really, really nice here in terms of the service and just really welcoming. So we're just sat having another cocktail and waiting for the tour to start in about 20 minutes or so. Unfortunately, the stargazing tour was indeed cancelled because there was just too much cloud. So to commiserate, we had a few more pisco sours and went back to a surprise from Mr. Juan.
Is that fun?
What's he brought you?
New toilet roll for you. New towels for me. Gonna be fresh and clean.
He loves you, doesn't he?
He does. I love Mr. Juan as well. It's mutual.
Having a bit of a day today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, we forgot some stuff in the hotel, so we had to go back. And then we couldn't find anywhere that was a reasonable price for breakfast. And then nowhere has changed, so that gets really annoying. Like, you can't just magic change out of nowhere. Finally found a coffee and some bread. They were supposed to have cheese in it, but then it didn't. It had those horrible sausages in it that I hate. Salchi, what are they called? Salchichas. So that was a nice surprise. And then needed to top our phones up with credit. They didn't have any change. Needed to go to the bank. What was happening there? Oh yeah, someone got their card stuck in, they were faffing around. Turns out he just didn't know how to use a card machine in the end. So yeah, finally we are on our way to what we are supposed to be doing today, which is finishing off the rest of Mr. Juan's map from yesterday. We're going to a museum, and then I think we're going to go and try to see a cemetery, right?
Yeah, Mr. Juan's given us a new map for this afternoon.
I'm an absolute nightmare with museums. I get bored so easily. Like, unless it's got something like really strange or something dead. Yeah, I'm not really interested in pottery and all this kind of stuff. I get the significance that it's really, really old, and that's what makes it interesting. But Jay gets really into it. Like, he has to read everything. Look at him, he's got this whole big book that he's reading. So you're going to summarise it for me?
Yep. I'm going to keep all this knowledge to myself, thank you very much. Was that they found a lot of shells of mollusks. But obviously we're not that close to the coast, so they must have brought a lot of stuff from the coast.
Okay.
Which is pretty interesting.
For some people.
The things on it, like the hands here, are actually raised up as well.
I found something I'm interested in. Look at these. This is right up my street. I don't know what's happened to them. Look, they've got holes in their heads. And some of them have got their mouths sewn shut. Jay, what's the story behind these? Well, skip the story to that bit.
I'm reading about something else, more about textiles.
Hmm.
The temple we found different trophy heads that were buried and welded inside the main platform and sealed with clay. I think that must be those.
Oh, right. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a ceramic pan.
You found them?
Yeah. These are pan pipes. We're expert potters, pottery makers. So this is pretty impressive. But have you ever done pottery?
No.
It's pretty difficult, you know, even if you've got like a wheel
Okay.
and stuff. I've done it before, it's hard. So I don't know how on earth they make these.
What you got there then?
Inca Cola.
What's it like?
I don't know really, it's like, what's that drink? It's really sweet, it's really nasty. Club soda?
I don't know.
No? Something soda. It's a bit like that. Well, it's hot, it's refreshing, so it'll do.
We're a bit short on time because of faffing about this morning and not finishing Mr. Juan's map from yesterday and having another one today. So we've jumped in a cab to the next place that we're going to. Where's the next place we're going now?
It's called Las Agujas, and I think it's some more Nazca lines, but these ones are in the shape of needles.
Okay.
After that, we headed off on foot to try and find an ancient aqueduct system, which turned out to be a little chaotic.
Jay, the other one's coming as well now. What? You've got a gang.
Oh my god.
Ah! Hello! Hello!
It's a bit friendly in that, isn't it?
Yeah, but he still looks scary, he's a big one. Hello! Hello, Fusspots. Hello. Hello. I think they're both pups. Oh yeah. Now we've got the dog gang with us. This one's a bit scary. We're not sure about him yet.
So these aqueducts were built by the Nazcas, and the area is really dry and arid, but apparently this is how they actually survive. So they dig down to find these subterranean rivers, and you can see the water's still flowing. It's incredible. These must be about 4,000 or 5,000 years old.
So these are fascinating, right?
Yeah, they're incredible.
Like, I know people have always been clever, but you know, like, just to have the equipment to do this kind of thing like that long ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't have any like tools to do it with, did they?
Well, they must have done.
Well, yeah. But I mean, it was all manual, wasn't it?
This one's a double. There's two of them in one. It looks like.
As we weren't far from town, we decided to walk back through the various little villages and cactus and chili farms.
People are so friendly here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, we're just walking back into town. It's only like a couple of kilometres, so we're happy to walk. But this guy just stopped in his pickup just to see if we need a lift down. Like, yeah, he didn't need to do that, did he? I mean, we want to walk, but you know. Why are you looking like an old granddad?
Because the chair is making me. Look how it is. Like I'm sitting there and the head bit is. It's pushing out and it's making my neck go like that. Is that better?
Yeah, it's good. So we are here at the planetarium again, trying to give the stargazing another go, but we think it's still cloudy again tonight, don't we?
There's not a single cloud in the sky.
Not a single cloud or a single star.
Single star. There's a lot of cloud in the sky.
But we're going to wait and talk to the man anyway that knows about the clouds and the stars. And...
I'm the man, I can tell you about it. It's very cloudy.
Let's see what he says, yeah? Be positive. So what did the man say about the clouds and the stars?
He said this time of year it's quite difficult to see them. He said what we were missing out on was the four moons of Jupiter that you can see really clearly, the rings of Saturn, and all the constellations, and the explanation as to why all these Nazca lines were made around here in their relation to the constellations. And he also said that if we'd have come 2 days ago, when we were actually here, we could have seen all of it. So
you're quite disappointed, aren't you, look?
Yeah, very disappointed.
I just want to point out, this is why Jay says that you shouldn't get excited over anything.
Yeah.
Because this is one of your worst fears, isn't it? That you get really excited about something you really want to do, and then your dreams just get smashed to bits.
Well, look, this is the first time I've been excited in months, right?
That is true. And
2 days in a row.
Plus you.
Cloudy. So it's always beer.
So this is the map that we still have things to do, and also this side.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are on our final day in Nazca, and Mr. Juan gave us a pretty packed schedule. We're behind by what, a day, I think?
Yeah, it was too much. He was just too ambitious, wasn't he?
Very ambitious. There's still 2 or 3 things that we wanted to do, but we're just not going to have time to actually do. But to make the most of our last morning here, we're on our way to a cemetery.
I'm really excited about this.
There's dead bodies in this cemetery. I think there's a load of mummies, so that's why Sarah's excited.
It's going to be quite gruesome, I think, like seeing all the dead things and stuff. I can't wait to get stuck in and have a look.
I see. Gracias.
Gracias, hasta luego. I honestly can't tell you how excited I am about this. So excited. Oh, look at him! Oh, wow!
So we bought our tickets and we had to ask the attendant where we actually went, because when you look around it's just a series of these bamboo structures. And it looks like a carport or something like that. Anyway, there's a path that leads you between all of them, and as soon as you get up to the first one, you're straight into it. It's an open tomb, and they have 1 or 2 people in each, and they're surrounded by, I don't know, possessions like pots and jars and offerings as well.
Look at him, Jay. What do you think? Do you like him?
Do I like them? What kind of a question is that?
Oh, they're just so fascinating. Oh, don't you want to get in there and have a poke around?
No.
See what's underneath?
No. But these guys are like perfectly preserved. It's incredible. They've been there for, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years, something like that. And they're just in absolutely immaculate condition.
And there's loads more that looks like it's not been excavated yet, because you can see like the dips in the ground. Like there must just be hundreds of them. It's crazy. Some of them don't even look like they're real, do they?
No.
But they are.
They look like balls of, I don't know, fabric or something like
Yeah.
that. With a skull placed on top.
Exactly. And I think because some of the bones are so white. But yeah, they're real. Look, you can see his foot and his arm.
Look at Sarah, bless her. She's in her absolute element. She's loving this.
So I feel like I should point out, I'm not that weird. Well, I am a little bit weird actually, but the reason I'm so fascinated in all of this is because I actually have a degree in forensic science and, more importantly, a master's in forensic archaeology. So this stuff is just like completely right up my street, absolutely loving it.
She's still going. I think we're going to have to drag her out by her feet. See what just happened?
What just happened?
You were taking so long that the cab driver wanted to come and pick you up.
No, I was just having a good last look at them, you know.
He got in his car. He was about to come.
Oh no, I think we're going to have to pay more because I took so long.
Eventually, we managed to persuade Sarah to leave and headed back into town to grab some lunch before we had to check out.
So how's your fish broth?
Really good.
What's it called again?
It's called Chauchilla, which is also the name of a cocktail, so it's quite confusing.
Yeah, I think I'd be quite upset, to be fair, if I ordered a cocktail and then
Fish broth.
Go fish broth. Okay, just before we check out, I want to quickly show you the room we've been staying in. How much was it?
About 15 quid a night.
It's not bad, is it? Oh, bathroom. This is bathroom. Oh, I really wanted to get a photo of you and Mr. Juan so we could remember him. But his wife checked us out and she was lovely, but she's no Mr. Juan, is she? Guys, we very nearly didn't come to Nazca because, well, he was never going to get in a plane and I wasn't too sure, and it's quite expensive anyway, but we're so glad that we did because there's just so much more to Nazca than flying over the Nazca lines. I mean, the mummies for one thing. So yeah, we hope we've done a good job of showing you all the different things that you can do here.
And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any comments, drop them down in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that bell button so you get notified every time that we post a new video. And next time we're going to an oasis in the middle of the desert surrounded by massive sand dunes. So join us then.
See ya!
Bye.
Summer.